Good day, everyone. I'm Rich. I'm with the Council on Aging over on County Home Road. Some people know us as the Senior Center or the Meals on Wheels program. So it's been a little while, so I wanted to update everyone on what is happening at the Council on Aging and what's happening with seniors in our community. So undoubtedly, we have really experienced some very, very trying times over the last couple of months. Many things are going on, let alone the pandemic, and it has greatly affected our seniors. Unfortunately, in more so negative ways than many of us. Many of our seniors have been homebound, been very isolated, and the constant barrage of news of the death and complications from the pandemic has really weighed heavy on them. So what's happening at the Council on Aging and what's happening with our seniors? So the Council on Aging has operated every minute over the whole session of this pandemic and continues to operate that way. We have an increased need in our community from our seniors who are, since they are homebound now and don't have any opportunity to get out of the house, they're really needing our services. So we've seen a dramatic increase in the need for food, for the need for incontinence supplies, for the need of fans, and for just general information and resources on day-to-day things just to meet their daily living requirements. So we have slowly begun to reopen the facility over on 4551 County Home Road, which is also known as the Pitt County Senior Center, the Community Center, and it's been a very slow and deliberate process. So we have roughly 300 people that we feed every single day. There's about 200 people on the waiting list. We have about 200 volunteers, 20 staff, and let alone all the people who call us every single day. So we've been in contact with a lot of people. And simply by the grace, we have not had one reported positive case of COVID. So we have done our due diligence to make sure that our facility is safe and clean and sanitary, that we're following all the necessary protocols, because we all know that seniors are highly susceptible to this virus. So we've really made sure that it's a safe environment for not only our seniors, but for everybody. We have families, we have children and parents and grandchildren that we all go home to every day. So we want to make sure that it's a safe facility, a safe environment for everybody. So one of the interesting things as we reopen back up slowly is the condition of many of the seniors. Whether it's been 3 months or 4 months, it has greatly impacted our seniors. The isolation, the loneliness has really weighed heavy on many of our seniors. The other aspect to this isolation has been physical activity. It's very hard to encourage and motivate a senior, let alone anyone else, myself in particular, to want to exercise. It's very hard. So as some of our seniors have returned back to our facility and we begin some process of some exercising, it's been amazing to us how far people can backslide in a very short period of time the physical limitations on their body, particularly with an older adult. When raising your arm and hand over your head is simple for you and I, for many seniors it's a struggle. And if they haven't been exercising and doing movement, it's become very hard. So a lot of our seniors are in physical decline. Also the social skills. Being isolated really weighs heavy. I think we take for granted our telephones and the access that we all have to computers to Zoom meet one another or WebEx one another or FaceTime. Over 90% of the seniors that we serve have zero internet availability or even a computer. And their smartphones are very limited. So while life has somewhat continued on for you and I, for many of our seniors, it really has been isolation. And so them coming back has been really been a reawakening for our seniors, and how much they depend on community, on social interacting, and just camaraderie in general. You know, the last years of all of our lives should be years of joy and happiness, and it's been a real struggle. So we're very excited that they're back and that we are continuing to serve seniors and meet their basic human needs. And that's what it really boils down to, is just some basic human needs, to make sure that they have a safe home environment, that they have food, that they have shelter. And that's what we do. That's what the Council on Aging does, is provide those opportunities to make sure that they have those basic needs. You know, we're talking about this, the weather right now, and it has been just a tad warm outside. Imagine for a senior who has limited financial resources, and even if they had air conditioning, the cost of running an air conditioner 24/7 is very expensive for our seniors. So we have a fan program right now that we have done more fans just in the last couple months than we did in all of last year. So we still do have fans available. It's a limited supply, so if you know a senior who may need a fan, please have them call us. We want to make sure that we're providing them with some kind of relief from this hot conditions right now. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about feeding seniors. So here's some very interesting statistics and things that have happened during the pandemic. So one of the things is that before the pandemic, roughly we were feeding about 275, 280 people every day. Today, it's about 350 people. Now, yes, we have received some funding related to the COVID. There are some funds available, but the real concern is sustainability and long term. So you know those funds won't last forever. So what will happen to the people on the list who are being supported financially through these special grants? Well, that's where education comes into play, and this is where we reach out to the community and educate the importance of, well, why is it important for seniors to eat? Well, that may sound like a silly question. It really isn't, because believe it or not, I do get that question asked often. So one of the reasons that feeding seniors is so important is, let's get to the basics. You and I have to eat every day. It's what sustains us. And for seniors who may have health conditions or are lowered or weakened immune systems, making sure that they're fed properly is very important. It builds their immune system, and it keeps them healthy and out of the healthcare system, which is the ultimate goal, because sometimes being in the healthcare system can offer many more challenges and obstacles than you or I could get over that they may not be able to get over. So feeding is a very basic necessity. Now, add on to the fact that most seniors may not be eating well, maybe because of financial constraints, maybe they're not able to cook a meal for themselves, maybe they're not mobile. There's tons of reasons, and particularly when now that we're isolated, it's very hard for them to get out and get food into their homes. And while we have some excellent food pantries, some great churches that are out there helping to feed seniors, a lot of the seniors that we're dealing with, the homebound, it's really hard for them to get there to get the food. So the Meals on Wheels program, the home delivered meals program, is a great way for us not only to deliver a meal that we know they're going to be able to eat, that it's going to be warm, it's going to be nutritionally balanced, but probably more importantly, we're going to have statistically another senior who's going to go to that home and deliver a meal and kind of do a safety check to make sure that they're all right. And during this time, it's been very important. Now, we do offer contactless delivery. The meal does go in a bag. It's placed on a doorknob. We call them. We knock on the door. So there is no contact. But for those who do make contact, because there are some seniors who are unavailable to even walk to a door, we have volunteers who know the situation that they're going into. We've made sure that it's safe, it's sanitary, there's disinfecting protocols in place, but these seniors still need the human contact. And when they see another face, it continues to give them hope. And I talk about that quite often with our seniors, is that, you know, the saddest thing for us as an agency is when we look into the eyes, directly into the eyes of a senior, and they've lost hope. You know, we love on them, we share our story, we may even share our faith, but when a senior has lost hope, it's very hard to be able to encourage them and lift them up that it's going to be all right. So getting a meal from somebody else, it gives them hope. So we're not just delivering a meal, we're delivering hope, we're delivering a light, we're delivering a respite. They can take a break from whatever situations they're in, knowing that there's somebody on the other side of that meal who cares about them, and that there's an agency who deeply cares about them. You know, I always share the stories about when people call and they struggle with, why would a complete stranger care about me? And I think indirectly that's the greatest compliment that anyone could give anyone, is knowing that there are people who don't know who you are, they don't know what your circumstances are, they don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, black, white, Christian, Muslim, they don't care. They see you just as a person who I can help. And it's a wonderful thing. And the stories that we have heard over the last couple of months, you know, we have to, staff doesn't even like to read them anymore because they're running the mascara on a lot of people's eyes, and of the gratefulness of people that just love that complete strangers care for them. So that would be a great opportunity for you. And I know you're sitting there thinking, well, what can I do? Well, you could be one of those volunteers. And we need volunteers. We need volunteers who are willing to give up 1 hour, one time a month, or one time a week. Whatever you can give, we'll take. And it's just not, again, delivering the meal, giving people hope. I'll tell you what, I have just as many seniors who are grateful for the meals as I do volunteers who say, you know, delivering a meal changed my life. I tend to be a little selfish. I tend to think about me. I tend to forget that I live in a great house. I have great food. I have clothing. And I just delivered a meal to someone who has nothing. It is life-changing. And we all do. We get busy in our lives. We have the same things day in and day out. Maybe we have jobs or nice houses, nice cars, and it just becomes mundane. It becomes regular. And sometimes we need to be taken out of our regular lives of mundaneness and humble ourselves to see what can we do to make this a better world. You know, sometimes we depend on, maybe we depend on politicians to solve our problems. Maybe we depend on everyone else except maybe ourselves. If each of us did something to make someone else's life better, can you imagine what the world would be like? I know that here in Pitt County, we are making the lives of people better every day. People who are not even old. You know, it's great when I have a homeschool mom who brings her kids to deliver meals, and that's part of their weekly assignment, is to deliver a meal to do community service. Or a grandpa who brings his granddaughter every week, and they begin to take under their wings the people they're delivering meals to as their own grandmas and grandpas. That's pretty darn cool. I don't have grandmas and grandpas, but many of my seniors, they are my grandmas and grandpas. And they're just as important to me as my real grandma and grandpa. And so volunteering at the Council on Aging, it really is. Now you may be sitting there, yeah, it's not my cup of tea. And that's okay. There's many other ways that you can give back to your community. Another very, very cool thing that has happened during this period of time has been the inspirational note campaign. So one of the things that I got to thinking about months ago is, how do we reach people at home? Well, there's many great programs right here in our own community where people call seniors and say, hey, how you doing? And we talk to them and we encourage them. But one of the things that came across to me in a conversation was, I have trouble sleeping, or I wake up in the middle of the night and cannot go back to bed. While that call is in their head, they lose it quickly because they become very distracted. You know that when it's nighttime and things race through your brain and your mind and your overactive imagination, I was thinking, what can we do to touch them during that most critical time? And what came to me were notes, cards, something physical and tangible that a senior at 11 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning can hold and read over and over. The outpouring of cards has been phenomenal. Thousands of cards we've gotten from people 3 years old to 90 years old writing notes with simple little things on it like, hi friend, hi neighbor, I hope you're having a great day, I love you. Just words of encouragement to a complete stranger. And what's really cool is when an 8-year-old wrote a note that says, I recently lost my grandma. Could you be my grandma? I love you, Howard. How cool is that? And we have seniors who have begun pen pal relationships with people. We have book groups who are writing these notes of inspiration, and a ladies' wine club. We have schools, churches that are taking these on as projects, and that could be something you could do to volunteer. Write an anonymous note of encouragement to a stranger. We'll make sure that it gets to them. So there's a way that you could also volunteer. Now, I know a lot of us, we always talk about money, and that is another way that some people feel more, it's their gift. Maybe, hey, I got an extra 10 bucks, 20 bucks, I'd rather just donate. And that's fine too. It's always welcome. But here's the thing about money. Some people get really personal about money. I do. I always have. But it is a fleeting moment. And it's amazing what we do spend money on. Sometimes, while they may be important to us, the reality is they may be frivolous. One of mine is coffee. And you can spend $5 on a coffee, and people still don't understand that. But nonetheless, it is one of my vices. But that money actually goes towards feeding another individual. It costs roughly about $6 a day to feed a senior. So that'd be $30 a week, times 52 weeks out of the year. So you're looking, $1,600 to feed one senior a year. $1,600 to feed one senior. We have close to 180 people on the waiting list to be fed. They're hungry. They qualify. They've been assessed by an assessor, caseworker, social worker. They have great needs. So if your gift is giving financially, there you go. There's plan giving. There's retirement giving. There's many ways you can financially give. You could set it up on PayPal. You can set it up on monthly. You can set it up on electronic funds transfer. Whatever works for you, it works for us. So volunteering is a crucial way that you can have direct impact in your own community. Well, that sounds all good, but I really don't want to volunteer and deliver meals, and I really don't want to write note cards, and I really don't have any money. But I want to help. there's still many ways you can help. There's still many ways you can help. There's a lot of retired people out there that have gifts, have skills. Maybe you're a retired nurse. Maybe you're a retired woodworker. Maybe you're a retired singing teacher. There's lots of things you can do. If you want to, you could even come and hang out with the seniors and play dominoes or checkers or whatever. Or you can come and color. There's lots of ways you can give back to a community that so desperately needs you and I to give back. I think sometimes we focus on all the negative things that go on in our world and in our community. But if you truly think about it, the world is a circle. And what comes around goes around. And while you and I may be extremely lucky, we may be extremely blessed, whatever it is that you and I are, it came from somewhere. And I have personally found the more that I give, the more I actually get in return. And giving towards a senior, to a senior, is very rewarding. You want to talk about being rich? Spend some time with a senior. And I guarantee you, you'll leave with more than when you came into that conversation. You may not be rich financially, but you'll be enriched. I know I have. And every day, I shake my head, and many of our seniors never dreamed they'd be where they are today in the situation that they are. And I think that's what sometimes you and I take for granted, because maybe we think we're immortal, or I've got great family, I've got great financial resources. But it does happen. It does happen. Losing a spouse, sickness, bad investments, bad luck, divorce, death. There's many reasons that life changes. And when you're in your 70s, it's hard to adapt. And that's where agencies like the Council on Aging were there to help fill the gap, to be a part of a bridge to get people where they need to be. They just can't see over that mountaintop or across that ravine. So it's you and I who've got to be that bridge that fills that gap so that they can go across and get to the other side, so that their remaining years could be years of joy and happiness and what they always dreamed it would be about. And that's where the community steps up. It's where our churches step up. We have some pretty darn incredible churches in our community. And I am always overwhelmed by the generosity of people just all across, all faiths, all businesses, all communities right here in Pitt County. Whether it's Bethel or Fountain or Farmville, Grifton, Ayden, Winterville, Simpson, Grimesland. There's a lot of people out there who care, and there's a lot of people who need to be cared for. You may be very fortunate to have family, and many people don't have family in our community. So I want you to really think about, what can I do to touch the life of another person in our community? So as we wrap up here today, I want to give you some ways how you can connect with us and how we can help you to connect with seniors. So one of the ways is by going to our website, which is Pitt, PITTCOA.com. There's lots of information on there about our agency, the programs, the services that we offer, a lot to do. Social media is the big way to get a hold of us. Let's talk about Facebook. Facebook in particular is the way that we can get up to the minute information on cancellations, on programs that have been added, on anything that's trending. We can let you know. You can go to Pitt County Senior Center and take a look at us there on Facebook. Every Friday at 10 a.m. we do a live shoot of positive, uplifting, encouragement, words, and a little bit of talk and inspiration to motivate you. You can check us out on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and all that techie stuff. And you can just call our office and talk to the techie people there, and they'll hook you up and give you all that information as well. But there's a lot of ways to connect with us. You can call us, 752-1717. That's the best way. That's the easiest way. And just say, hey, I need information on this. And we'll get you to one of the people in our organization who can help you. It's what we do. So I would encourage you, take the time this week after today's show and say, what can I do to make my community a better place? And more importantly, what can I do maybe to uplift a senior? We all do. Think about when you and I were children. For me, besides my parents, my grandparents were the most influential people in my life. And as a child, I had no idea what they were going through. But now as an adult, I see what grandparents are going through right now. And we need to encourage them. Many of our seniors' families live all across the country, so they're not here. So it's kind of us. And it'd be a great opportunity for you, for maybe your children or your grandchildren, to share with another grandma or grandpa who's looking for that grandchild to take under their wing. So give us a call. It does start. So I am challenging you today to pick up the phone, give us a call, go to our website, go to the Facebook page, see what interests you. There's many ways to get involved. We've mentioned before about volunteering. You can volunteer. We need volunteers. You can give financially. Maybe, that triple double shot mocha latte, I'm going to give that up. So that's $5 a week. That's $20 a month. Do you know what $20 a month would do? That would probably do about $20 a month, about 3 or 4 meals that would go to a senior. So think about when you go out to dinner, how much does your meal cost? You could feed a senior for $6 a day. So there's many, many ways that you can help. And just, we're not going to solve the world's problems, but I'll tell you what, we can take care of our own right here in our own community. I never thought I'd get to the point where I say, just like my parents used to say, well, when I was your age or back in the day, but there's some validity to that. Remember back in the days when we actually cared about one another, when we helped our neighbor? I can remember as a kid going next door and borrowing a cup of sugar. I can remember growing up with people who didn't look like me, who didn't talk like me, but I didn't see that. I just saw them as another kid. Are we that kind of generation today, where we just see people for people? I don't know. So I want to encourage you today, think about what you can do. What can you do? I know you watch a lot of the news and you see a lot what's going on in our world. Let's make a difference right here in Pitt County. Let's do something here. Let's reach out across lines, across ages, across genders. Let's make a difference. Because I'll tell you what, at the Council on Aging, every day, it encourages me to get up and say, you know what, today I'm going to make a difference in one person's life. I'm not going to change the world, and you're not going to change the world. But you know what? We can change the world for one person. One person. And that would be you. So there's many, many ways you can do that. This newsletter. Get our newsletter. It's fabulous. There's words of encouragement in there. There's things about our programs, our services. We've got lots coming up. We've got a big Medicare, I call it Medicare for Dummies 101, that's coming in August. It's complicated. We have people who come and ask us questions with Medicare who got double PhD doctorates and they're all smarty and they can't figure it out. It's complicated for everyone. So come check that out. And that information is in here. You can go to our website, sign up for the newsletter. You can call us. We'll sign you up for the newsletter. Lots of ways to do that. So I'm going to wrap it up here today. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch, to learn today. I hope you learned a little bit more about what's going on with the seniors in our community. They're there. They're not going away. They're looking for you. They're looking for me. So let's be there for them. Let's reach our hands out and let's make a difference. I know you can. I know you want to. So what's going to motivate you? What's going to encourage you today to make a difference in a senior's life? Tell you, there's nothing that feels better. There's nothing. It's like a clean shower. When you sweat and work and you feel all good, when you help another senior, it makes you feel good. It's like the sun beating down on your face. So thank you again for listening. Again, my name's Rich Zeck, Z-E-C-K. I'm over at the Council on Aging on County Home Road. We're across the street from the Farmers Market. We're next to the Alice Keene facility. We're there for you. It's your facility. We're just operating it. We're taking care of it for you. And we're taking care of the seniors, and we need your help to help us to take care of our seniors. So have a wonderful day. Thank you again, and God bless.